You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite. That was gold.
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And we're a VHS podcast that looks at the box art, trailers, and behind the scenes. And this week we're doing another sports movie. What do we got, Matt?
Oh, we have got a doozy of a sports movie. Sports in quotation marks, I guess. It is a sports movie. It's just not a sport that really exists. No, we are taking a look at, not the original, not the 1970s version, the 2002 remake of Rollerball.
Wasting your life. The break you need is right here. If you make the team, pow.
It's time to play Rollerball!
It's the world's #1 phenomenon.
I created a sport that you could thrive in.
And 3 players rule the game.
I told you, it's the promised land.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jonathan Cross, leading scorer.
You gotta catch me first.
Offense! Go, go!
Aurora, the black widow.
Just get out of my way.
Marcus Ridley, hardcore.
We play, we win.
Come on!
He's the angriest man in the game.
Now we will all get big bonuses thanks to Jonathan and to Ridley. Jonathan, they knew.
What are you talking about?
Here, look. 1 camera follows the action, and 4 cameras follow Toba 15 seconds before it happened.
Nothing goes on in this place without you knowing it.
Oof.
Now,
It was only a matter of time before one of these creeps realized that their tank would go up as soon as they got a little blood on the track.
the world's most dangerous game
Have you thought about the girl?
People disappear all the time.
will become deadly. And the only chance they have
What's it gonna be? Us or them?
is to fight back.
Get out of the car! They're going to kill you!
Grab hold! We deal with this on the track ourselves.
This may be getting out of hand. Maybe we should cool the whole thing off.
No.
Rollerball.
Let's play the game.
Do you like roller derby? Do you like roller derby with leather? Do you like roller derby with leather in Russia? Did you answer yes to at least 2, 3 of those? Then we've got the movie for you.
Yes, maybe. We've got something like it.
We've got a movie based around a fake sport. I mean, obviously, roller derby's real.
But Rollerball is not.
But Rollerball isn't.
Where anything goes, there's, violence is encouraged, and you've got to throw a giant steel ball into something so hard that it starts on fire.
The biggest aspect of this film that irritated me. This is a movie that actually made me frustrated watching it. No one knows what the fucking rules are. And in fact, after they explain it, Paul Heyman?
Yes.
From wrestling, we had him in ECW.
ECW at this time, yeah.
He might have went to WCW at one time, and then WWF. I don't know. Wrestling got crazy after the merger. But he at one time goes, I don't know what's going on. And I bet he said that at least 3 or 4 times.
And I went, me too, Paul.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then they explain the rules, sort of, or he explains the rules very quickly. And then at one point in a match, a player goes, I don't know what's going on. Is that a rule? And then no one fucking knows.
No one knows. Well, even Paul Heyman at the beginning goes, And there's a bunch more rules that are in Russian, but those don't matter. It's just like, what? Yeah, guys.
Well,
Paul Heyman from ECW, the announcer, is a featured actor in this film. Here we go.
And he's acting with no one else. I don't even know if he was on location with these people. They probably just showed him the dailies, and he's like, seriously? He's like, all right, well, what do I got to say?
Put me in a booth, and I'll do color commentary, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably like, all right, give me a script. Just tell me what to say. And they're like, oh, no, we hired you because we just talk.
Yeah, just do your ECW thing. But say shit more because you can, because it's not on TV.
Have fun because we're keeping it in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this movie frustrated me. So, history behind it, I had never seen it until right now. Did not know this existed until I found it in Omaha, I think.
Yeah, this is one of your recent ones. So I think this is when you stopped along the way back home.
Actually, I picked this up because when I first looked at the cover, I thought it was Future Sport.
Which we talked about in an episode that didn't air, though? Isn't that the one we...
I don't know if it had... I can't remember. It was part of our really early episode. Was that part of Python?
That might have been part of Python. One of these days, the world's going to hear Python.
Yeah, our very first...
attempt at this. Yeah. But it's actually pretty good. Like, I listened to it. It's pretty good. But I think that might have been where we saw Future Sport. And we're like, we gotta see this.
I've looked all over for that damn movie. I'm probably just going to have to give up and order it.
Future Sport is basically just a ripoff of the original Rollerball, but came out around the same time as the remake of Rollerball.
Yeah, it doesn't have Harry Dean Stanton in it?
Does it have Harry Dean Stanton? No, it has Dean Caan in it.
Is it Dean Caan?
Yeah, Superman.
All right, I'm getting my Harrys mixed up.
Your Deans mixed up.
My Deans. Harry
Mixing your Deans.
Yeah, Harry Dean Stanton is the awesome old actor, and then...
Dean Caan is Superman.
Dean Caan is Superman. Yeah. Damn those Deans.
Yep.
So, how do I mix up Superman and Harry Dean Stanton? I don't know what the fuck.
Because Harry Dean Stanton is a real-life superhero.
Yeah, okay, all right. All right. So, this movie, did you see it?
Yeah, let me tell you my history. So, I'm an asshole, and I saw, it's just out the gate, I saw this pop up on a lot of worst of lists in 2002, which then encouraged me to then go see the movie. So I didn't rent it. I didn't see it in theaters, but after seeing it on like the worst of lists, I kind of gave it in the back of my mind. And then when it came on HBO, because I think this was one that popped on HBO or one of those networks, I watched it then. But I don't know if I watched the whole thing because we'll get to it in a second, but it pretty much just goes off the rails at a certain point. So I don't know if I watched the entire thing, but I have seen some of this on HBO because I wanted to see the worst movies of 2002. Because in my head in 2002 was like, fuck the critics. Let's see what they consider the worst.
Oops, they were right.
But sometimes they're right. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they do get it right. This one's kind of just like you watch and you're like, okay. It's hard to even come up with a defense for this movie.
Yeah. It's true because I was ready to come in. When we started it, and we'll talk about this when we get to the breakdown. But when I started this movie, I was ready to come and start defending this movie, and then it goes off the rails.
Yeah, and I thought when I first started watching this film, especially the opening scene, I go, Matt's gonna like this. And then 45 minutes in, maybe 30, I think pretty much during the night vision scene, I go, I don't think anyone can like this. I mean, this is...
And you know me so well because that's literally exactly what happened. I got about 45 minutes into this and I was like, there's no defending. I don't even like this.
Well, because I was searching for things to defend it because right when I saw that it was just bad, I was like, okay, we got to find something in this film. I can't just put in Romijn-Stamos' perfect body, which I'm not being the guy who's just like, oh my god, she's so hot, I give her to the sex. No, it's just like when I saw her, I go, that's stupid. Yeah, that's not right. Come on.
She literally can't be real.
No.
Yeah. She's. And I wish, to keep it equal, I wish there were some dudes in this movie that I could be like, oh, yeah, but this dude is also incredible looking in this movie. But man, what a cast of goofy ass looking dudes.
I know.
You get like Rebecca Romijn-Stamos at the top of her game, just being fine, bringing that back from the last episode, and then just a bunch of goofy ass dudes like Schlubby LL Cool J, Chris Klein, like at the height of all the drugs and alcohol, and like Paul Heyman from ECW. Like, there's no good looking dudes in this for the ladies.
Well, what's even rough, even more, like Klein is such a bad action star.
He is meant for comedies. I don't know why they kept trying to give him other stuff besides comedies. Well, he's a comedic actor. That is what he does.
Some people can do the, staring off, the 1,000-yard stare. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people can be Clint Eastwood. Some people can be, I don't know, even Bruce Willis. Even though, later on he sleepwalks through everything, and we discussed that last week. But when Chris Klein was doing the cool man, he just looked kind of overmatched.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen him at this point, I think by 2002. I hadn't seen him in a movie like this. I was used to American Pie. Like, why was he in this?
Well, some people can pull it off. Damon Wayans last week in The Last Boy Scout went from, In Living Color to that, and he makes it as a wisecracking guy who you could kind of see maybe fighting in a bar.
Yeah, like he could pull off action star, but Chris Klein cannot.
No, he's
at all.
The only thing, I think he could have been a soldier, but he would have had to been like, I'm doing it for all the right reasons. Like he doesn't have a bad bone in his body type soldier.
I think he plays that part in American Dreams, which is an amazing dark comedy.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it. But that's who he is. He's just like, for some reason, when he's trying to be aggressive, it comes off funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he's too dorky or something.
Yeah, he just doesn't have enough meanness in his eyes.
Yeah, something.
There's not a cynical fucking bone in his body, and you really need that edge.
Or all the coke and alcohol he was doing at the time just made it so there was nothing there.
Oh yeah, there's like the fucking director's like, emote, god damn it.
Yeah, but John McTiernan, who directed this movie,
who's also a train wreck at this point
of all the action movies of your childhood's fame, John McTiernan directed this movie, probably also just doing insane, like otherworldly amounts of coke he must have been doing to make this movie. Like next level, past Charlie Sheen levels of coke to get this thing going.
So basically, this is the movie that set him up to go to federal prison.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And I can talk about that in the behind the scenes because I did my research on this movie because that's what I was doing instead of watching the second half of this movie.
So what I did not know about McTiernan is he's an asshole.
Oh, he's a piece of shit in real life.
Yeah. In fact, there is the deposition. What do they call it? I don't know. Anyway, where the judge in like 2008, when she's sentencing him, she's like, not only am I upholding the old charge, but I'm adding more time onto your sentence because it doesn't seem to register at you that you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Like she's like just adding.
It's like talking to a child. Yeah.
He's like, and he denied it forever. Now, finally, I think he's accepted it, and he's trying to get back into Hollywood. But no, I don't know if he will. Has he? I don't think
he has broken it through. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I would never want to hang out with this guy. I would never want to be in the same room as this guy. I would never want to work with this guy. But I fucking hope he makes another movie because I want to see it.
Predator, Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October. I mean, he's made
Last Action Hero.
This guy knows how to direct an action film until Rollerball.
Yeah, so let's get into this here.
Well, let me give you the other stuff here because I just want you to know the names. So this is produced also by McTiernan, Blue Sinclair, which I don't really know who it is, but Charles Roven is a name. Charles Roven, remember that name because it's going to come back. You did your research. He is a film producer that... He is the president and co-founder of Atlas Entertainment. He has worked on countless DC comic book movies like the Dark Knight trilogy, Suicide Squad, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and more. He's done a lot of really good films. I think he was actually kind of involved in the Matrix trilogy, maybe?
I believe it.
As like a co-producer? I don't know. This guy knows his shit. And then this was based on Rollerball Murder by William Harrison, another name. Please remember William Harrison, who wrote the screenplay for the 75 Rollerball. And we've already gone through the stars, so that's not really important. So this movie hit theaters February 8th, 2002. This was scheduled to be released in May of 2001.
Yes, and then got pushed back to July so they could fix some of the problems with it, and then eventually pushed all the way back to February, and we'll tell you why in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, the budget ballooned to $70 million and only made $25.9 million in the theater. It was going up against Collateral Damage. That was an Arnold movie, right? Collateral Damage.
Which I remember liking when that came out. I haven't seen it since, but I remember liking that one.
Is that the one where they made clones?
No, that's Sixth Day. Collateral Damage is like just Eraser again. But without like the Eraser plot. It's just like just a general action movie.
We also had Big Fat Liar, Black Hawk Down, Snow Dogs, The Count of Monte Cristo, A Beautiful Mind, I Am Sam, and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Ouch.
Yeah, it was going up against some hot commodities.
It finished third in its first weekend at $9 million, trailing Collateral Damage at 15.1 and Big Fat Liar at 11.5.
When you have to follow Big Fat Liar, that's sad.
Yeah. Well, Snow Dogs was like right behind it too.
Oh God, what a shit fucking.
That's
time
literally a wolf.
Yeah, like God, like there's some good ones in there. Like I like Collateral Damage. I like Black Hawk Down. I like Lord of the Rings. That's there's some good stuff in there, but there's some shit in there too. This movie.
Yeah. Did you see the 1975 James Caan starring Rollerball?
Never seen it.
You've never seen it. Well, I have it. A little boring. I don't think you'd like it. It gets better. The first half is rough. Dystopian future where basically the corporations are bad guys and you should do what's best for the whole. It's kind of like, when you hear Fox News and they're just like, they want us all to be a bunch of socialists and capital, or socialists, where they're all
communists.
Communists, whatever. That's kind of what that movie's sort of preaching against, and also big media.
All right. Yeah, well, I've never seen it. It did always kind of strike me as something that I would think would be boring. But I was kind of excited to watch this one because I hadn't seen any of it since 2002. And this just, judging, I'm going to get into the cover in a second. Judging by the cover, this seems like a movie that Matt would like a lot.
Yeah. So Matt, break it down.
On the cover, we've got LL Cool J with, on the left, Chris Klein in the center, Rebecca Romijn-Stamos, who is still Stamos at the time. And she's on the right. She's got her giant mask, which I fucking love in this movie, like her Judge Dredd mask that she has on throughout the first half of the movie.
I didn't even know it was her.
It's quite wonderful. And then, Chris Klein is like trying to look tough and holding up the rollerball, but like it looks like his arm is too long. And he doesn't look tough, just period. And it's in the rollerball rink arena. And then we've got a quote on the front from the Washington Post that says, turbocharged, body slamming action. And we're also watching, we should note, the R-rated version that came out on video, because what came out in theaters in February of 2002 was PG-13. Much to everyone's chagrin.
Yeah. Sadly, there's no real difference.
And basically what the R-rated version is, they uncensored the boobies, but they couldn't put back in any of the good stuff that got taken out still.
Yeah.
So you get boobies, but that's about it. Some boobies.
Sort of.
Yeah, because some of them are still censored.
Like you can see them, but they put a shadow on them.
Yeah, it's weird. It's real weird.
It's really, and you can tell it's in post. That's just awful.
But
why? Why neuter this to PG-13?
I don't know. Even in my research, I couldn't find the reasoning why. Like, I read about and I'll talk about it, I read about the reshoots, I read about the test screenings, everything like that, but nothing ever pointed to the fact that, like, hey, we should cut this down to PG. Like, I don't know whose decision it was or why they decided to cut it down so much.
Well, because this is at the point where you had Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all these horror movies coming out that were R. and they were pulling in all the teenagers and getting all the money. I don't know at what point we decided to start making everything PG-13.
It was around this time. It was like the 2000. It was post 9/11. Really, everything had to be neutered after 2011.
I'm just saying,
or 2001. I mean, 2001.
If you're trying to make a hard action film, why?
Yeah, I don't know, Steve. Let's try to find out when we talk about this movie because I don't know. We're flipping over the back here. Full tilt action is your quote from the Houston Chronicle. From the director of Die Hard.
No name on that?
No name. Just the Houston Chronicle. Yeah. From the director of Die Hard comes this high-octane thriller that roars along at a breakneck pace, the Los Angeles Times. Starring Chris Klein, American Pie, Jean Reno from Ronin, or Gene Reno, as I'm going to refer to him in the rest of this because I'm from Chicago and we don't know how to do French accents.
Gene?
LL Cool J, Charlie's Angels, and Rebecca Romijn-Stamos, X-Men. Rollerball goes full throttle with excitement from its death-defying opening to its explosive end. Jonathan Cross, Klein, is the newest recruit in the most extreme sport of all time, where his fast moves and killer looks make him an instant superstar. But Cross's life in the fast lane collides with reality when he learns that the league's owner, Reno, is orchestrating serious on-court accidents to boost ratings. Now Cross plans to take down the owner and his ruthless sport before the game puts an end to him.
Hey, what do the French call a hot dog?
What?
Who gives a shit? Am I right, Chicago?
Freedom fries. Oh, man.
When you were reading that description, I'm just like, I'm not listening to anything. I can't wait to just say this, like, I'm from Chicago, even though I'm from Missouri, so I'm not really like that at all.
You've been here long enough that you've earned it. Like you for better or worse are now a Chicagoan. We're our own special breed here. So that's about it for our description, and I feel like actually this description helps me a little bit understand what was going on in the movie because I don't think I knew that watching this movie that's what this is about.
Nope. I didn't know what this movie was truly about until I started reading about it. I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing? Like, I got the whole, he's trying to sell it to America.
I never got that he was orchestrating accidents, though. I thought he was just trying to boost ratings any way he could.
That's what
I didn't understand that it was accidents that was why it's a problem.
But here's the thing that doesn't really play. We're gonna put this tape in and watch the trailers, but so you're telling me if you're gonna have murder on live television, you think the states are gonna buy it?
Yeah, no, we're afraid of everything. We're not gonna show that.
We saw a nipple in the 2004 Super Bowl and fucking flipped our shit.
Yeah, we couldn't have anything on TV for a year. That's right, kids. In 2005, there was nothing on TV.
You had to watch reruns of Mr. Rogers, which was lovely.
Which was wonderful, yes.
And then, Law and Order.
That was it. We had nothing else because of that fucking nipple.
Damn it.
Yeah, but should we get into these trailers? Because these are pretty funny on here. These are pretty fun.
Pop it in, trailer time.
Now playing at a motion picture theater near you.
Yeah, we had a lot of trailers here. We had so many, I kind of forgot what film we were watching.
There's definitely a lot here.
I love it when you go into the theater and there's 20 minutes of trailers and you're like, wait, what am I seeing this week?
Man, sometimes lately, or at least the big movies, they'll have 30 minutes of trailers.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And by that point, I don't even want to watch a movie anymore.
I'm 36 years old and I feel 70. Stop it.
Yeah, it's too many trailers.
So anyway, these ones, we had MGM Means Great Movies promo. I've seen this one before.
I've seen this promo a lot before. I feel like this was on the Dirty Work tape, which I wore out in the 90s because I fucking loved that movie.
Dirty Work had a lot of trailers too.
MGM must have been into that at the time. And this might have been even on Disturbing Behavior, which was another tape that I wore out in the back in the day.
That's where our stories go down different trails.
Yes. It was Disturbing Behavior and Dirty Work that I was watching at the time. But yeah, I've seen this promo 100 times. You guys have probably seen it 100 times. It has the James Bond stuff in there, the Hannibal stuff, the everything that MGM has done, like all their black and white movies, Some Like It Hot is in there, Rain Man is in there, like their Oscar stuff. Yeah. Like it covers it all.
They've had a good run.
And now they're dead.
Yep.
And now they don't exist anymore.
And now they're just selling their old shit.
Yeah, and then trying to whip up fast remakes of the stuff they still do own the rights to, like Child's Play and Night of the Comet. Like,
please give us some money. Did you know? Then what came up next was the MGM.com.
Yeah, but they like treat it like a trailer, but then all it is just like the logo for the website, and then it ends.
And then they put the and it's just like, come see what the roar is about, and I'm like, wait, that's it?
Yeah, you don't even show us like screen caps from the site or anything, like nothing.
Come on.
But they treat it like a movie trailer. They're like, coming to the internet, and they're like, MGM.com.
And we'll put all these up on our YouTube and put links to it so you can see what the hell we're talking about.
It's pretty hilarious, so it's pretty great.
It might trick you too. Like, you might start watching and you're like, no, Steve, you're wrong. This is a trailer. No, it's not.
Nope, and then it just ends. It fades out, and then we get the commercial, the very brief commercial for Stargate SG-1.
Yeah, did you watch this series at all?
No, not at all. Did you?
Yeah. I started. This was the Stargate started around 2000.
Yeah, maybe even like 98, 99, somewhere in there.
For some reason, my parents had Showtime, so I got to watch some of that. So that one's got Richard Dean Williams in it.
No, Richard Dean Anderson.
Richard Dean Anderson. That's right. I wrote it down. I'm MacGyver. I wrote it down wrong the first time and forgot to change it. Yeah, that's interesting. He had like a short period of becoming an action star in the late 90s with Stargate, and then he just kind of...
That was it?
That's it.
Yeah. But what was so funny about this trailer is then it slowly morphs into a very long trailer for Showtime's new show, which is called Jeremiah.
This one I watched too.
Yeah, I never heard of this.
Yeah,
I never even heard of this. How long was it? One season? Did it last?
It was 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
I want to say about 25 episodes. It had an interesting premise.
It reminded me of that show Jericho with Skeet Ulrich that was on CBS. That's what it kind of got the feel about, but a Showtime version of it.
Yeah, I think the real problem was they were really trying to make Malcolm Jamal Warner an action star. And Luke Perry was okay, but Luke Perry can't lead something. There's something about him.
He's better in an ensemble.
Yeah, and I think Malcolm Jamal Warner would have been better too as like not so much an action star, but a guy, like a fish out of water. And these two needed someone else to lead the cast, and they just didn't have it, and it clearly didn't get the ratings. Interesting premise. Again, you can watch the trailer. You can look into it. It's not a bad one.
Okay. It was just I was just kind of more taken aback by how long that trailer was.
It was too long.
And like it was making me laugh how much they wanted to show that it was like a Showtime show, because they would show like maybe a monster or maybe like some kind of a bad guy, and then they would show like I think it was Gretchen Mol who was in there like making out with somebody, and then like steamy, maybe that was a sex scene that they show, and like so something to show like Showtime be like, oh, but we've got some edgy stuff in here.
Yeah, it was shot in like a Western dystopian look.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always find that, if you give me dystopian Western, vampires by Carpenter, there's a lot of other... That look works for me. And maybe it's because I'm such a big fan of the early 90s sweaty look.
Yeah. It does. It definitely is like sort of that second chapter of that, because like the first chapter is that early 90s sweaty look like we talked about in Last Boy Scout, and then this is absolutely like the next piece of that. Like we almost get sweatier and dustier, and that's where we are like in this period.
Deadwood. You can give me Deadwood. Deadwood has a little bit of a high gloss over it, but it's still sweaty and nasty.
Yeah, it's still dusty.
And muddy.
Yeah.
I love real like mud and blood and just all this nasty crap on the actors, where you can see like it's hard for them to act. It's not like a high gloss movie like we're watching in a few minutes.
Where like they go back to their trailers and relax. You like seeing them dirty and like they got to suffer through this shoot.
I think it makes for a better movie.
All right. I just want to know, like, what kind of a nerd am I that, like, when that trailer started, I said out loud, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, not like I was super excited to see him, because I like him. I think he's a good actor, but, like, I'm not, like, the biggest fan of him or anything like that. But, like that's what my eye was drawn to, and I'm like, what kind of a weird fuck are you that like that's what you are drawn to?
He's such a likable guy.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. He's just like I'm rooting for him always.
But he just doesn't have.
He's miscast in that show. It sounds like, or they need.
I just don't think anyone knows what to do with him.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure he's been in a lot of shit, but can you remember anything else he's in?
No.
But
I know who he is, though.
You see him in something, you're like, ha, Malcolm Jamal Warner. I love you, man.
Yeah, but I can't tell you like what my favorite Malcolm Jamal Warner performance is.
Because there is none. Oh, man, I just felt bad right after I said that one.
It's all right.
He's coming to get me. Is he my Robert Davies?
He's going to be Robert Davies. He's going to come after you.
Fuck, does he live in Chicago?
I don't know. Maybe.
He might. Let's get on to Pumpkin. Let's talk about Christina Ricci falling in love with the special kid.
Yeah, they use the R word quite a bit in this trailer that I'm not going to say right now.
I haven't drinking enough scotch.
Yeah, right. But I've seen this movie, and it's actually really good.
Are you fucking kidding me? You've seen this?
I've seen I saw Pumpkin when it like came out because this is absolutely my kind of movie.
And Christina Ricci was in so many small movies that I haven't seen.
I don't think it comes across in the trailer, but it's much more of a dark comedy than Let's On, and it's more of a satire of the bougie than it is of.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think about this trailer.
It is. It's much more of a weird midnight movie, dark comedy. Comparable to like a Slums of Beverly Hills or But I'm a Cheerleader kind of movie. It's good. I liked it.
This seems like it was written by someone right out of college.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a Sundance movie, so it's got to be. But I liked it.
Where they kind of think they're clever than they really are.
And it's edgy.
Yeah.
But
it's
good.
Man, no one's ever done a film like this before. And the rest of us are like,
here's the thing, though.
You're funny. We get it.
Here's the thing. Back in 2002, though, those movies were still kind of good. When those movies come out now, I want to fucking blow my brains out.
Yeah, it's tough now. Well, I mean, we're super sensitive for reasons that
and also,
just watch the fucking news.
And also, like, people don't get how to do edgy well anymore. Either you're annoying about it, or you're too safe, or, there's too many problems.
Well, they're trying to play both sides.
Yes.
They're trying to be sensitive and edgy at the same time. You're like, nah, gotta pick a...
Yeah, and you can commit fully to, like, offensive and have it work. I mean...
Well, what happens is you chase two rabbits, you lose them both.
Exactly.
Oh, hitting you with some old school knowledge.
Yeah, some literary shit over here.
That's what happens when I drink scotch.
So that's Pumpkin. Next one looked like a direct-to-video movie.
The Rumor of Angels. I thought this was going to be like a Christian film.
It probably secretly is, for sure.
Yeah.
This was back in the day when they couldn't advertise it. Well, again, I miss these days because now we get like inundated with like all these fucking God movies that would make me want to blow my brains out.
Fucking amazing.
Oh God, I hate them all. I keep Now every time I go to the theater, I see the one for the Easter movie with Topher Grace, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate all these fucking things.
Topher's doing that now?
Topher has fallen off.
Man's got to pay his mortgage.
Got to pay the bills. I thought he'd bounce back after Black Klansman, but no. This looks bad.
Maybe he did that before Black Klansman.
Maybe, yeah. Now it's coming out because of Easter.
They held it, and they're like, I can't wait until that Black Klansman movie comes out so we can put our Christian film out.
Oh, gross.
Hearts War with Bruce Willis and that other guy.
Colin Farrell is in this. I've seen this movie. I like this movie.
I haven't.
I don't like war movies. I didn't like war movies when this came out, and I saw this when this came out, and I liked it. And I like war movies a little bit more, but not a lot. But Hearts War, I remember thinking was like a pretty decent one. Good performances. I mean, this Bruce is already in a sleepwalking phase, but Colin Farrell's good.
He looks like he's sleepwalking.
Yeah, and I mean, this was probably one that he still got good marks for his performance. You know, I think people still liked him in this movie, but I'm like, no, I know Bruce now. This is him cashing a paycheck. He's not trying here.
And then the last one was with Helen Mirren, No Such Thing. I don't even remember this trailer.
I very distinctly remember this trailer. This was a movie I wanted to see so bad in 2002 because it's monsters, and I liked monsters as a kid.
Monsters?
Yeah.
Oh man, I already forgot that.
Yeah, no, it's like Sarah Polley goes to Iceland or whatever and finds an actual real monster and brings him back to America to make him a star.
Yeah, and is Helen Mirren like a media mogul of some sort?
She runs a network.
That's right, yeah.
And wants to turn him into a star for money. And I wanted to see this so bad, but in Chicago it never really came to a wide release. And then so I never saw it, and I still to this day have not seen this movie, but I saw this trailer again. I was like, God, I really wanted to see that movie when it came out, and I still want to see it. Still haven't seen it, though.
Starring 2 women, so that's probably why you haven't seen it. You hate women.
No, that's not true at all. I just hate Helen Mirren. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I could never.
How do you hate her? She's
exactly.
amazing.
How do you hate Helen Mirren? She's fucking wonderful.
Now, if you said you would have hated Sarah Polley, I'd have been like, oh, really? Why?
No, I love Sarah Polley, too. After Dawn of the Dead, she's always going to be cool with me.
Everything she's in, she's good in.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these.
Yeah, both of these ladies.
Both of these ladies, so that's great. Okay, so what's actually feature presentation time after 45 minutes of trailer?
And now, our feature presentation.
Yes, and 45 minutes of us talking about the trailer. So let's kind of breeze through this movie because I don't want to talk about this movie for a long time.
Okay. In the far future of 2005, Jonathan is boarding down San Francisco highways being followed by 2 cameramen, and
this is extreme sports, kids.
Yeah.
This is what we did in 2001. Everything was extreme with an X. We had to do the BMXing and the boarding and all this stuff.
I don't even know what this whole fucking opening scene was. I was just like, wait, so he's getting paid by people with camera? Is this a TV show?
No, I think it's just like the Jackass thing where you film your friends doing extreme stuff. Yeah,
underground sports or something.
Yeah, this is what we did in 2000. This is before the internet, kids. So we had to film our friends doing dumb shit. I did it,
and then tried to get MTV to pick it up.
I didn't do that. I just kept it for us. And I still have all that footage actually. So someday I may do something with that. But I was like this. I didn't do any of the stunts though. I just filmed my idiot friends doing it, but this is what this was. This is what we did in 2001.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so did I. So I guess it's illegal. The cops chase him. How the fuck did LL Cool J's character Marcus know where he's going to be? This had to
He just finds him, and then it's just like, grab hold, which is a shot I remember from the trailer. And,
that's a trail. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he grabs hold of the seatbelt to pull him in the car.
But he loses his board,
and he loses his board
really
along
pissed.
the way. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, my board."
Okay, did you pick up that he was an NHL hopeful draftee?
Yeah, he says it's not in the movie. He just says it. It's a tell, not show. He goes, yeah, I'm still trying out for NHL. And LL Cool J is like, no, you got to come join this thing. This is where the money's really at.
I just haven't gotten the break I need. You know, NHL tryouts are in 3 months.
John, the break you need is right here.
They'll cover your travel, give you a 5K bonus just for showing up, and if you make the team...
Come on, Red. It's a circus, not a sport. It's a pretty sunset, though.
It's the mines.
What is?
The dust from the mines that makes the sunset red. Look, come on. We both know cash is king.
I last 2 more years, I have enough to retire. Support my family for life.
They love Americans over there, especially baby-faced boy next door types like you. It'll be just like high school. You run our block.
Besides, it's a place where even a doofus-ass white boy like you can get laid.
Is that right? That's right.
I appreciate the offer, but I should stick around, you know? This is my year to make pro.
I tried. Luck with that. My flight leaves at 9 p.m. tonight in case you change your mind.
This is how we're introduced to Rollerball because our main character then obviously joins it. within the first, 5 minutes, we are in. It's 4 months later, Rollerball. Waste no time.
To me, what's cool about sports movies typically is the struggle to get on top.
Nope, he's already there and he's already super famous because he's white and good looking.
Could you imagine if Rocky, he's just like, oh, I'm down on my luck, I'm collecting money, I'm champion.
Yeah, and that's how this movie starts. 5 minutes we're into it.
Yeah, they just start, could you imagine Rocky 2 being the first Rocky where he's struggling with advertisements? He's already on top.
Yeah. That's basically what this is here within the first 5 minutes. Because then he's got to advertise the bottle of pop he's drinking. Turn the label so they can see it. It's he's already in it. We're already in this world a little too fast. But one thing I wanted to point out about the beginning, Chris Klein's haircut in the, before he goes over to Russia when he's doing the boarding thing is so bad. It's down to his ears, so it's normal haircut level, but somehow it's long. It's long, but then cut short. Yeah. It's so insane looking.
Was it the butt part with the undercut, but they didn't have the hair long enough?
I don't know. I don't know if it was a wig also too.
It was also that was a 95 haircut.
Yeah, it was lame for 2001. I mean, we still looked pretty fucking lame in 2001.
No, he should have had spiked hair.
Which he does when he gets... It's short, but he does have the spiked hair when he gets to Russia.
I'm just saying, that's what we were doing. You remember, what was it? The Caesar cut? Was that this time period?
Yeah. Oh, man. We looked bad.
I don't want to
of all the fashions that come back, the 90s came back, 80s came back, I hope to fucking God the 2000s never come back because we looked horrible.
Or at least my photos never come back.
Well, people don't know what I looked like in 2001.
Awful. That's what I looked like. Let's get back on track because fuck talking about my tips.
Man, I had frosted tips until 2010 maybe. I went too long with it.
I had so many different hair colors when I was in, going through my traditional art training. Oh, man.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Man. I wish I would have been I just wish I would have went an extreme and got, fucking Liberty spikes. Just go all out, young Steve.
Own it. Own it. Own your brand. Own your look.
Go for it, you fuck.
So anyway, Chris Klein is now a superstar over in Russia playing Rollerball. And at this point in the movie, I realized that this movie is way too cropped for VHS because there are literally shots that make no sense. And I know this movie was chopped to hell, but I also feel like there are scenes where I'm just looking at people's feet and I'm like, why? Something important got cut out of this shot, in the full frame.
How about the new guy who comes over to Rebecca Romijn-Stamos when she was the Black Widow?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the new guy comes and goes, hey, I'm the new guy. And she goes, so? And they basically give that new guy two little funny fish out of water jokes and then never show him again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so what was the point of that? Oh, right. This movie's been cut to shit.
But then also, besides just the movie being cut to shit and the framing being cut to shit, in that shot, because Rebecca Romijn-Stamos is so tall, she is in most of the foreground. This guy is in the bottom left fourth of the screen, and the shot is just atrocious. And you're like, either put him in or don't. In or out, man.
we watch enough movies, especially you, where we start to notice things. I think people who don't even look for that might notice that this is wrong.
Right. There are, even at this beginning scene and sort of for the first chunk of the movie, there are literal parts of shots that are missing.
Yes. Yeah.
It literally clips while you're watching it. You notice the edit. Because stuff is just clipped right out of the middle of a shot in the middle of a scene.
And then... Oh, it's really raining outside.
There's the rain. I brought my umbrella.
Sorry if you can hear the rain. Chicago's getting freezing rain right now because Chicago is fucking great.
It's the best. I got my umbrella.
I don't think that was a Chicago accent I just did there.
No,
I think it was a mismatch.
Just have me say it.
Say rain for us.
Rain.
I can say hot dog.
Hot dog.
Yeah. Some of my Missouri fucks things up. But anyway, talking about fucked up, did you notice some of the shots were out of focus?
Yeah, and I don't know, again, if this was the cropping for the full frame or if this was just like they didn't fucking care. And they were just like, it's out of focus, just leave it. Leave it in the movie.
I don't know, because the cuts were so fast and so shaky.
Yeah, there's literally not a shot longer than 3 seconds in the first 30 minutes of this movie.
It's so annoying.
It's so fast.
It's so the whole point of this is one, they introduce this sport and they incredibly fast go through, like, basically put the metal ball in the hole after you skate around once, one full rotation, and you get points.
And you have to throw the ball so hard that it flames.
A team must go around the track twice, maintaining possession of the rollerball before they can score.
It's really that simple as using a lifestyle. 3 million countdown before sex.
The ball must be held at all times. Player gear may be only used to dislodge the ball or prevent a score. A team gaining possession must first do the rabbit hole. That's that killer tunnel above each bench. Then make one circuit through enemy territory, and then they're eligible to score. All you really have to know is there's only one way to score, and that's when a player takes one of the balls, wings it at one of the iron goals hard enough to set off the pyro. As for the rest of the rules, well, the rest of the rules are Russian and complicated.
You know, like, that's your movie.
That's all you need.
That's your movie. That's
like,
done.
Why doesn't he just, like, this guy in wherever, Kazakhstan, whatever they're from, Russia somewhere, why don't he just has, like, illegal sports and they all go there for this and they know they could die, but they all get paid, like, a shit ton of cash after each game. And you're like, hey, you know you're part of something illegal. It's your fucking fault. This is more like, hey, man, it's like extreme, but no one's gonna die.
People are gonna get hurt, but nobody's gonna die. What?
And by the way, his London, UK friend. It's for the actor from Lost.
Naveen Andrews.
He's really good in this.
I just didn't pay attention when he was on.
Well,
I was just like, give me more Rollerball, but like not though.
Well, he is really him and Jean Reno, or how are we saying it? I forgot.
The Chicago way, Gene Reno.
Yeah, Gene Reno. Gene Reno's Russian accent just goes away.
Yeah, he goes from like, I'm going to do Russian to like, I'm still just French.
Yeah, and halfway through the film, he's just like, I don't fucking care. Because he can't yell in Russian. When he gets mad, he just goes French.
Yeah, which is hilarious. I was just thinking about Gene Reno because a few days ago, for no reason whatsoever, I watched the 1998 Godzilla, which he is in, and I was like, man, they can't get this guy to do anything else but be the French guy. Like, that is all he can do in all these American movies.
He started coming over to America to make money, and then he's just like, all right, I got like 10 of them under my belt. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I think he started to do that, too, and then he just retired.
Well, he's still acting, but he's doing more French movies now.
Yeah, okay.
So he is
in
able
America, that means you've retired.
Yeah, he doesn't do very many
You're
American
not American
movies.
movies no more? Fuck you.
Yeah, right.
You're dead to me.
He's back to doing good movies again because he's not doing Rollerball or Godzilla anymore.
Did you ever see him in that old Japanese commercial he did?
No.
He did a Japanese commercial where it was something like he was trying to speak Japanese and he couldn't because he's French.
Oh, that sounds super familiar.
Yeah,
I think I might have seen that, actually.
It's really funny. It's just like, when I'm in Japan, and then they're like, no, say it in Japanese, and then it does that like click over where it's like a new cut, and he goes, and then he tries to speak Japanese.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
He just butchers it. It's so funny. I don't know what it was for, though, because the Japanese commercials are insane.
Yeah, like the one with RoboCop in it, where he's like giving them tempura battered shrimp or whatever. Yeah, they're wonderful.
But him and Rajay, whatever that character's name is, I don't remember. They are trying to put together a sport that they can sell to North America. And they say North America.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it's U.S.
It's America.
Yeah, and during this time period, this is when UFC was becoming popular and
Wrestling
snowboarding.
was
wrestling was at its peak.
This was the height of like no wonder Paul, whatever his name is in the movie. This was the height of wrestling.
This was like at the tail end of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, which was like the big even if you weren't into WWF Attitude Era, this was the height of ECW, this was the height of WCW, whichever faction you were into, this was the height of it.
And if you were a loser like me, you were in all three.
Oh, I was.
When I came into college, we fucking watched ECW. Like, we were just like, this is real wrestling.
I was from 1999 through 2001. I was mostly into WWF, but I was pretty into ECW too. WCW could fuck off when I was that age, but like
considering we watched VHS tapes in 2019, we're clearly the kids who are watching ECW.
I think that says everything that needs to be said about what this podcast is, who we are. That defines everything. And another defining thing I think to talk about with this movie is about the first 30 minutes, where most of it is the first Rollerball game. Most of it, like, it goes on for a long time.
I don't know
and
what's happening.
We get the exposition kind of around the game, but we are seeing the game. This is where Matt fucking loves this movie. You could tell it's Frankenstein together. Yeah. Nothing makes sense. No shot lasts longer than 3 seconds. There's nu metal playing constantly, and I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah, I am into this. I love this.
When all this like bullshit nu metal was playing, and it's not like I hate nu metal. It's just I hate it because I know executives are like, "What's cool right now? Metal?
Exactly,
nu metal?
Exactly." Like it's old white guys trying to tap into the pulse of what the kids like, and that's why it's in here. But here's the thing: when I was 12, when this movie came out, I was super into nu metal.
I could probably guess half the soundtrack on this movie. And I don't even know what it is, but we probably had some Here Comes the Boom.
Yes, POD is in this.
POD is in this. There's probably some Korn.
There's no Korn, but there is Slipknot. Slipknot is in the movie, for fuck's sakes.
Pink was in the movie.
Pink is in the movie, but does not have a song on the soundtrack because she's not nu metal.
And she's a woman.
Well, and that too. Yeah, POD is on the soundtrack. So get this, I looked up the soundtrack. And obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but there were 2 Rob Zombie songs in the movie. Hoobastank is on there. Drowning Pool is on there.
Drowning Pool, yeah, that would have been a good one.
But then get this, of this whole soundtrack of all nu metal bands, Godsmack's on there. Everybody from nu metal.
Of course, Godsmack, come on.
Green Day has a song on the soundtrack.
You could have gave me 100 guesses, I wouldn't have hit Green Day.
Right? And it's When I Come Around. Also, it's not like a fast Green Day song either.
What?
And that is on the soundtrack, the purchasable soundtrack for this movie.
Okay. Did you notice the instant worldwide ratings?
Yes.
Like clock?
Yeah, they had a clock, and when the mentally handicapped guy gets his face beat, there's something wrong with, like, right? Like something's up with him. The big guy.
Olga? Or Oleg?
No, not Oleg. It's the guy who's like his friend at the beginning.
Oh.
They kind of like I Am Sam him at the beginning a little bit.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
And yeah, it's whatever they're doing, it's highly offensive.
Because that was the one, put on your helmet, was that?
Yeah, and then his helmet falls off during the middle of the match, and somebody smashes a rollerball in his face.
That's Oleg.
That's Oleg?
No, I think you're thinking about the guy who was on the bench, right? Where the Asian girl was yelling at him.
I don't know. I literally just watched this movie like 2 hours ago. I don't know.
And there's a point in the movie where they say, "Where are you from?" She goes, and then she starts to say, and then one guy in the background goes, "Asia." And I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, like,
wow.
This movie has like a really inclusive, like, female and male and all over the world cast, but then still managed to be as offensive as humanly possible.
Well, I mean, I was like, okay, it's supposed to be because this is a unisex locker room where...
Yeah, we get the Starship Troopers thing where they all change in front of each other.
But they all cover their boobies and their butts and their wing wangs.
Yes. That's what the technical term. If we're going to use the technical term for it, they're wing-wangs.
And I'm just like, oh, it's a unisex. It's a unisex locker room with no balls.
Yes, it's the PG-13 unisex bathroom. We do get a couple boobies in this one because this is the R-rated cut, but they're very fast.
Yeah. Well, they're shadow boobies,
and
but you can see if you pause them as a kid, a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
you'd be able to see them.
But even as a 13-year-old, 12-year-old. I just didn't have time for Rollerball. You know what I mean? I was like, I could probably see boobs in this movie, but I've got bigger fish to fry. I don't even need to waste my time with this one.
She could have showed boobs in Bush. No 13-year-old is having this as their pause moment.
Yeah.
Because it just would have been like, this movie sucks.
Yeah, I'd be like, I need something else. But yeah. So we... And then also, my argument that I always make, there's never enough peen in movies, if we're going to use the other technical term for the wing-wang.
Peen.
But there's never enough peen in any of these movies. And Rollerball was your perfect movie to get somebody's wing-wang in there.
Yeah, I would hire just a wing-wang actor.
Right, just get a good-looking male model, show his wiener in the movie, for the other technical term for it. Show his wiener in the movie, and then you get some boobies walk by. Everybody's happy. And this is the kind of movie you do that with, because it's a trashy, offensive movie. Throw a dick at me.
I don't know why they don't have the balls to throw some dick at you.
Yeah, I don't know either. All I'm asking for is some dick. But
man, I'm just gonna take that line of audio and fucking loop it.
All I'm asking for is some dick. All I'm asking for is some dick. All I'm asking for is some dick. And you can, because it's true. In my trash movies, I always want more peen.
Here's my whole thing is it's breaking through a little bit, especially after we watched Revenge. I've now seen a lot of movies where we get some wing wang, some Long John Silver, some balls of justice.
Yes.
I mean, all the technical doctor terms.
Yes, all the doctoral terms for the wiener.
But, man, they were little bitches in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah, I was so afraid of all that. But anyway, if there was ever a better movie to have just, excessive nudity, this was it. Yeah. Missed opportunity.
This is the scene, too.
Yeah, you do Starship Troopers, which did have peen and boobies in it.
Well, we had RoboCop, Judge Dredd, Battlestar Galactica, even though that didn't have any nudity in it. These movies had more courage than you.
Yeah, and this didn't go for it.
Judge Dredd had more I don't think there was nudity in Judge Dredd, actually, so let's not use that. But if you want to be remembered, Starship Trooper it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
duh. I'm
I'm
still into the movie though at this point. I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt.
So Oleg's chin strap is cut, but what I found ridiculous about this is Jonathan doesn't even button his. And Oleg looks fine after this.
He gets smashed in the face, he gets hurt, but he's not dead.
Well, I thought they were going to be like, oh my god, they broke his neck, he's going to be in the hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe
they just write the character out of the movie, basically.
No, Oleg stays in the rest of the movie.
Where does he show back up?
He's in the nightclub where he's just like, they cut my helmet and they brought it to Jonathan, and then Jonathan goes to Jean.
Is it... I swear I'm crossing characters. I swear I'm crossing a character here. So is Oleg playing
Oleg is
semi-mentally handicapped though at the beginning?
No, that's just him.
No. Am I projecting this into this movie? You're like, this is the kind of movie that would do that though.
Now he is a former UFC fighter who's probably had 20 concussions. But
I thought they were purposely trying to have him be.
I think he sounds like that because English is his second language.
Oh no! Wow, this podcast got highly offensive, and it's me this time saying the troublesome
usually
thing.
I'm trying to be offensive,
and here is me being like, I am Sam in this movie.
And
Jesus Christ!
Fuck it. I was gonna save this for the end. So Oleg is this real guy's name. Oleg Taranak, I can't remember. I used to watch him in high school as a UFC fighter. His name was the Russian Bear, and my older brother, I would get him in the Russian Bear headlock, even though he didn't really do this, but it was my wrestling character. So in 2004, I think, 2005, one of the first couple years I was up here in Chicago, I went to a con. And do you remember when the con would have a bunch of porn stars,
Oh, yeah.
wrestlers.
I never got to go to any of those, but I always wanted to go because of the wrestlers. Not even the porn stars yet, because I was still super into wrestling.
Only the creepy old men went to the porn stars. All of us young kids are like, I'm not going to talk to a porn star.
Yeah, like I've watched their movies, but like I want to go talk to Mankind over there.
If Mankind would have been there, he'd have had the longest line because he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, right.
So a bunch of wrestlers, and then they had a couple, I would say about 6 or 7 UFC fighters. And this guy, I think, was coming off, I remember on his, you know how they have banners above their head where it reminds you of what movies they're in? Well, it said Russian Bear, UFC, and then it showed him as a goon in National Treasure, and I think a goon in Air Force One, I want to say.
I don't remember him.
I think
in
he
that,
was like a Russian goon on the plane. But anyway, I knew who he was. And I'm like, holy shit, I know that guy. That's the Russian Bear. And my friend Jeremy at the time was like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And I'm like, yeah, I used to watch him. So the end of the day was happening on a Saturday. And he clearly was packing up to leave because he wasn't going to stay the Sunday. He probably didn't make any money. I barely saw many people in his line. So I was like, Jeremy, I'm gonna go meet him because I know who it is. And Jeremy's just like, okay, bye. So Jeremy, if you're listening, you can remember this. I walked up to his line,
which sounds like when me and you go to conventions now. What I do to you, where you're like, I go talk to this person. I'm like, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah. So I go talk to this guy and go, hey man, sorry I couldn't talk to you earlier. It looks like you're packing up. I just wanted to say hi. I used to watch you. I used to wrestle with my older brother, and I used the Russian Bear hug on him where you put him to sleep. And he was the nicest. He stopped what he was doing. He came over, he sat down, he's like, oh, you did that. He's like, how did you do it? And I just was like, well, I got him like this. And he's like, put me in it. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so I did it to him. And then he's just like, oh, do this. And then he put me in a little bear hug, and we're laughing and everything. And I go, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, yeah. And it was $20.
Yeah.
And I put in my pocket, I only had $12. And I'm like, oh man, I only have 12. And he goes, for Russian Bear Jr., 10 will do. And I was like, what? And I gave him $10. I had to run across the place to grab someone to take my camera at the time, like the old shitty digital camera, to take the picture, which was hilarious because he put me in a sleeper hold, a bear hug. That was the second person I had gotten a sleeper hold picture with, because the first one was Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. So I have a fetish for big men putting me in sleeper holds.
And also kids.
And you thought he was mentally challenged.
I really did. I thought there was a mentally challenged character in this film, and I was like, ooh, movie, this is a bold choice. Apparently, I'm just projecting on this movie.
And he's the sweetest man I've ever met.
I'm sure he is. I don't mean to be offensive.
I love it, because you're like, you're not that person, and I fucking want to grind this.
But as not that person, I also find this to be fucking hilarious. But I think it also is a testament to the ineptitude of this movie, where I cannot keep any kind of track of any characters in this.
It doesn't even matter, because then they leave the game or the club, and Jonathan goes to meet, I almost said Renee Zellweger.
Rebecca Romijn-Stamos. Who
Stamos.
I don't realize they have a relationship at all together, and he just immediately puts his face in her boobs. And I'm like, do you guys even know each other?
Well, it's the happiest spot on earth.
Well, she is power-packed.
Yeah,
she is a stacked woman.
I think she's a 3D model.
Yeah, she does not look real. She really doesn't. She doesn't look real.
It's stupid. It's not fair. And she's probably, I would assume, the world's first fully functional sex robot.
That's what you'd think she was in this movie, because they don't even have a line of dialogue yet, and he just goes face into boobs, and then they're naked on the ground.
And yeah, apparently she has a cut around her eye,
and that's why she wears the Judge Dredd mask throughout the races. And it's and she's like, and he's like, I wish you wouldn't hide your face. And then he says the line, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like as if to say, it's kind of bad, but it's not as bad as you think.
Actually, it's awesome because if someone that perfect had a blemish like that, it would be better.
Yeah, and he delivers the line as if it's not that bad.
Cut. I like it. Let's go.
Good enough, Chris Klein. Moving on.
It fucking took 28 takes. Why can't you talk, you coked up fuck?
You think we could do this in a bed sometime? You know, with sheets and stuff?
We've been through this. It should be our secret.
How could I forget?
It could be used against us.
Against me. You're untouchable.
Come on, Aurora. You don't need to hide all the time.
I don't.
Yes, you do. You live in the dark, for Christ's sake. Yeah, your face isn't nearly as bad as you think.
I know that.
Yeah. That's why you always turn your left side to people.
I don't always turn.
At this point in the movie, I'm still in. I'm still like, this Frankenstein mess of a movie is hilarious. But then we get to...
Oh, then it gets bad.
Then we get to about the point, and this is where it all just muddles together. We get another rollerball scene, and then we get the night vision scene. And let's skip ahead to just the night vision scene.
Yeah, I don't even remember the second rollerball movie. I can't remember it, but they're running for their lives because they're like, well, we have to get out of the country.
Because they know they cut the thing, and they know they're purposely doing this to hurt the whatever, to get ratings.
And somehow they got a motorcycle, and they're on the motorcycle. And the decision was made by someone to just go, you know what? We're going to shoot it all in green night vision.
And here, okay, so I have a theory about it, for one. And for two, here's this is a crazy behind-the-scenes fact. So this was in the original cut. There was a night vision scene. And it tested with audiences horribly. So their choice...
So get rid of it.
They reshoot the entire night vision scene, but still in night vision. They're like, they don't get, like, the studio doesn't get, like, the thing people don't like about it is that we can't see a fucking thing that's happening and it's in night vision. They're like, oh, well, our night vision scene isn't working, so we're going to reshoot the scene entirely, but still do it in night vision.
Why? What? Like, is there someone with binoculars watching them in night vision?
There's no reason why.
Then why have it in night vision? Can you do it dark? You can do it dark. That's fine.
Or like,
because it's at night.
Or like fake night vision, like Silence of the Lambs. This looks like they're shooting it in a real, like, Best Buy camera night vision.
No, it's terrible. I assumed in post production they just put green stuff on it.
I don't know, because the way their eyes white out, I feel like they shot this in actual night vision.
No, I think they did.
Which is even more of a shame.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no, like, there's nothing to make you think we need to see this in night vision.
And here's my theory. Here's my maybe theory why they chose to do this. Was the Paris Hilton sex tape around this time? Was that popular? Was that on people's consciousness? I feel like it was.
I thought that was later.
Was it later?
I don't know.
Because if it was around this time, they were maybe like, well, maybe we could turn this thing that's popular into an action scene.
It's 2004. Okay.
I'm very wrong. Okay, never mind then. What is the fucking purpose then of having this in night vision?
I don't know.
And also...
Well, wasn't it shot also somewhere in green? Wasn't there green night vision? Am I making that up?
What? That something is green in the movie?
Yeah, wasn't there like green? You know how like a sniper would look?
No, that's how this is. I'm saying it looks like actual night vision and not post night vision.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that it looks like they shot it in night vision as opposed to post converting it to night vision because of the way the eyes white out and the way the gunshots flash.
That would be even dumber because you got to shoot it in regular film because then you could save it.
Exactly. No, that is what I am saying about this scene. Like,
think they like fucked it all? They're like, this is terrible, and it's like, well, we don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do reshoots
and just do the same thing again. Like,
Oh, that would. Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying about this. Like, this looks like it is not post-converted to night vision. This is in night vision. Like, they shot this entire, which, like, listeners.
I just looked down at my note. My note says night vision, huh? Well, that's a decision, a regrettable one.
Yes. Listeners, if you've never seen this movie too, this scene goes on for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, and Klein is like sitting there, Jonathan is sitting there doing, he's basically being the audience. He's like, come on, you gotta go. First he complains he's going too fast. Then he's like, oh man, you gotta go faster. They're gaining on us. They're gaining on us. What kind of car do they have? Oh my gosh, it's a plane. And you don't have to say that. We see it.
Well, actually they do, because in the night vision, I can't fucking tell a goddamn thing that's going on in this scene.
You could hear it and see it. Now he's like, they've got a plane, man. And then like Marcus turns around, what? He's like, they got a plane. And I was like, yeah, okay.
And at this point, too, this is when we lose LL in the movie, because he drives off on the bike, and apparently they just gun him down, and that's it.
Well, the funny part is the head bad guy, played by Jean. What are we calling him again?
Gene Reno.
Gene Reno, like, goes, wait, let's see if he makes the jump on the bridge that came up, and he makes the jump, and then they shoot him right before he gets to the border.
Yeah, when he almost gets away.
What the hilarious part is Chris Klein basically is like, he's supposed to be feeling remorse. This is his best friend, his U.S. connection, you know.
The guy that brought him into this. They played high school football together.
Yeah, and the guy who's like looking after him. He's kind of playing his big brother, and he's just like, there's like so little emotion on his face.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because it's paralyzed from cocaine. Because I was yelling at the film, I go, look like you just lost your friend. You're not even fucking crying.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also besides him, the movie just moves on too. We lose one of our main characters, and they're just like, all right, anyway, so remember you liked Rebecca Romijn, right? She's now one of the leads. And it's like...
And by the way, he's supposed to be a star with a shit ton of fans, and like, it's just, you know, there's no fans with his jersey on.
And he's just like kind of the worst. He looks like he hates it the whole time.
I think he's supposed to be playing it like he's just doing it to make money for his family, which we never see his wife or his children.
He has a wife and children? He's fucking Rebecca Romijn.
No, Jonathan's fucking him. Marcus.
Oh yeah, Marcus. Yeah. We never see his... We never get any of his story other than what he tells us.
Yeah.
There's no show.
Oh, no.
I'll tell.
Yeah, if there wasn't dialogue for him, you'd never have any story.
Yeah.
It's terrible writing. Now, the original script for this, I'm sure, is much better because everyone says it's better.
Yes, so that's another behind the scenes thing. But I'll tell you now,
Yeah.
the screenplay was supposed to be better than the original and one of the best scripts around town when they were going to make this. It was supposed to be one of the best scripts out and better than the original, and McTiernan came in and got hired, and he was like, I want to make it a WWF movie.
Well,
and he cut all the good stuff out.
That's probably why he probably requested to get someone like Paul Heyman in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes... Yeah, I read that he like just shat on the original script,
and
even though people were like, it's great.
People were like, this movie might be a masterpiece. And McTiernan was like, nah, I want to make a wrestling movie.
What makes the first film so interesting is the social commentary. And he just took out the most interesting part of it.
Well, like, the social commentary that's here is not very smart social. It's very obvious. It's like the brand thing that I mentioned earlier, and it's like the viewer count.
But you have to go farther in the
right.
satire.
Yeah, you have to push it to make it resonate.
The social commentary in this is like, poor people are misused, and I'm like, yeah, that's not anything new. There's no funny satire in it where it's over the top.
It's the easy way. It's
just like poor people are mistreated. No fucking shit. What else you got for me?
Yeah. This movie does the exact same thing that the Death Race remake does, where Death Race 2000, the 70s Roger Corman one, is just rife with great commentary and is so funny and is so ridiculous and over the top. And then Paul W.S. Hack Anderson comes in and is like, you know all the stuff that worked in the first movie? We're going to take it out. And we're just going to make it about fast cars.
I think that's the difference, is a lot of those movies in the 70s and 80s like that, they didn't have the budget to do all these crazy special effects, so they had to really concentrate hardcore on making a very clever, smart script.
Yes.
And then they would piece together what they could with the special effects. These movies now are like, nah, I don't give a shit about that. And I'm a visionary director.
Yeah. Which, like, McTiernan can direct action, but, like, might be an actual certifiable crazy person. So, like, is that offensive? Is this my most offensive episode? Is this my worst work yet?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Shit happens. You're not a bad person. You're just a horrible person.
I'm just the worst.
But, you know, actually McTiernan, I think him actually being crazy is what makes a lot of his movies fascinating. Because I think in Die Hard, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments section, but I think he's the one who put the brother who falls down, or no, he puts him in the elevator and it says, ho ho, now I have a machine gun. That was all made up by McTiernan.
Okay. Yeah, no, I believe that.
I think. I could be completely false on that. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with truth.
Yeah, we make the
Works
truth
for the
happen.
president.
Yeah, we make the truth here. So if anybody else can do it, you know.
Oh, yeah. By the way, this film, Jonathan comes back and flies up in the air, jump kicks through glass to kick the bad guy in the
Gene
face.
Reno.
Gene Reno. I don't remember the character's name. I don't care. He like fucking jump kicks him in the face, right?
He flies up in the air off the rink, kicks through the glass, like the hockey glass, so like the hard to break glass, kicks through it and then kicks him into the wall.
So the stuff made to stop a 100-mile-an-hour hockey puck, he has enough speed and force to go through.
Yes. Because he's Chris Klein, you know, the strongest man alive.
I guess. And then he hunts him down in the hallways. Like the poor people rise and then like start like a mob. And then all the rich people back off, and I guess the mob takes over. Also the Black Widow, Rebecca Romijn-Stamos, gets traded to the opposite team. I have no idea what the point of that is in the story, other than maybe to piss Chris Klein off.
But then, after they, get their revenge on Gene Reno and, you know, the people rise up or whatever, they get taken to the hospital. Rob Zombie song, credits.
Yes, Rob Zombie, yes! I know, as soon as I heard that, I go, oh, it's fucking Matt's gonna love this.
Well, talk about, either not knowing how to end your movie or just deciding to all right, we're just gonna put the credits here.
There had to be multiple endings to this because one, what would have been great, I actually in my notes I cheered, this is what I said, Sanjay, kill him, don't give away the element of surprise. Damn, Jonathan lived. I was cheering for Jonathan to die because he was so lame, but he kills mega Russian bad guy, which by the way, can we just say they missed the boat on Russian bad guy by 15 years?
Yeah. We're done with that. We're back to it now, but because we have a real life Russian bad guy running our country.
In the early 2000s, even before 9/11, it was brown people.
That was the movie villain. That was the movie villain.
We went from Russians to natural disasters and aliens and shit, and then we're like, oh, let's move on to terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, but for some reason they're like, Russians, remember that? And we're like, well, we're over that now. Yeah. But we're back to it now.
We're back to it now.
Because they're actual bad guys. So the Rob Zombie song at the end fucking cracked me up, but there's no ending to this film. And that's it. We've talked for an hour and 15 minutes so far about this, but that's what you get with Rollerball, and I'm still not sure what we got with Rollerball.
We got a bloated, high gloss, shitty, well, probably good script. It's a bloated, high gloss piece of crap.
It's a Frankenstein movie that, in my opinion, for the first half works because it's just so ridiculous that it doesn't, it's almost like saying, fuck you, we don't care, we're going to be ridiculous. And then the second half tries to have story and just loses me.
Yeah, I think where it gets really bad for me is after we meet the real Black Widow, behind the mask. And then we start to get into, no, you don't understand. The Russian, I don't know, rollerball bosses control everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, movie. Can we just not
be
do
silly
this?
again?
Because
Yeah.
you clearly don't know what you're doing. And now I know why. It's because it was a good script that someone came in and did a hack job to, tried to like duct tape this together, and then they put it on film, and it's just like, ooh, woof. But that's how most messes happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts with the script that may be good, but then they cut that apart, and then they make a movie, and then they cut the movie apart, and then then they try to cobble it together with what they have left, and that's when you end up with shit like this. Shit like everything DC's made.
I am shocked this film didn't have like a cutaway fade to black, and then they're in America, like happy.
Yeah, that's
and
the
he's
kind
in
of
the
movie.
NHL.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie this is or turns into.
Yeah.
And
they have Marcus Kidd like in the stands cheering with like Marcus's NHL jersey on, even though I don't know if he would have been an NHL player, but something like that. I'm shocked.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is that kind of movie. All right, let's move on to some behind the scenes here because this is getting ridiculous. This is getting out of hand.
I heard the first cut was like 2 hours long.
Yes,
it was awful.
So after the prized screenplay that everybody wanted, that people thought was better than the original, and just like a great movie, McTiernan came in and said, "I really want to make a spectacle like WWF. This is the kind of movie I want to make." So he made the movie. It comes out to be 2.5 hours long. They do a test screening of it before anything's really finished, too. They do a test screening of it, and audiences fucking hate it, eviscerate this movie. At the 2.5 hour cut, and they're like, A, it's got to be shorter, and B, we got to get audiences to like it. They had a May 2001 release date, and they pushed it back to July. And they're like, we're going to fix this. We're going to edit it. We're going to finish it. We're going to make this right. They get to July, they do another test screening of it, and it just bombs again. But now, mind you, this is an R-rated movie where apparently, and we'll never get to see this footage, but apparently like skulls were getting crushed, teeth were flying out, bones were getting broken, like on screen. Like apparently this was like a very raw, extraordinarily violent thing where like you were seeing a lot of gore and stuff like that.
So maybe RoboCop level violence.
Yeah, ultra violence.
Yeah.
We were getting with this, but audiences hated the movie. So then they decide in July, when they can't fix it, to do reshoots, and they're like, we're going to push it back even farther to February 2002, and they're like, you could do reshoots. And they do such extensive reshoots. They basically try to remake the movie within 2 months or whatever it is that they have for the reshoots. And they, the person that McTiernan lets see the movie to get an opinion after they do the reshoots is the mega troll, the worst human alive, Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News. He gives the movie to. And mind you, there's still, at this point, there's still some blood and boobs in the movie. So, Harry should be happy. And Harry's like, this might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but at least there's boobs and blood in it. At which time MGM decides, let's do PG-13 with this, and goes and cuts everything out of the movie to the point where they're just cutting giant scenes out, and McTiernan's not even involved anymore with it, and they're just cutting chunks out. They don't even care if things don't make sense, but they have to get this PG-13 and make this release date. And that is how we got the Frankenstein movie that we have today.
Oh man, that makes sense, because there's in the action scenes, the one thing I would say, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the most important thing in an action film is the action scenes have to be good, cut well.
Yeah, that's not here.
That's not here, and and now it makes more sense because they cut out a lot of the extreme violence.
Yeah. Apparently, and this was not something I could catch. I did catch the CGI. There at one point, there's a woman in the changing room when they do the changing room scene later in the movie. There is a woman with a CGI bra on, which I caught in there, which made me laugh. But apparently some of the blood still made it into the movie, but they CGI'd it to sweat spray. So like when they would get hit, it would look like sweat instead of blood. But I didn't catch any of that in the cut of this movie.
Well, I mean, it's funny because
but I believe it's there.
The last match, they beat the shit out of Jonathan.
Yeah, but it's really not that graphic. Like the violence is there. He's getting hit a lot, but there's not a lot of blood. There's not a lot of like teeth or skull cracking like apparently was in the original cut of this.
That's sad.
And yeah, we lost all that because McTiernan literally had the producer wiretapped.
Yes. To see if he was saying bad things about the studio. He was going to try to blackmail him.
Yes.
And he hired a PI who also wiretapped someone else, which is unknown, but later we found out it was his ex-wife.
Oh, wow.
Now,
I didn't see that part of this. I just saw the wiretapping of the producer.
I think he wiretapped both from the same PI, and his case went on from like 2004, and then finally I think he served jail time in like 2014 in like the cushy,
Rich, I'm a Hollywood director.
I think it was in like North Dakota, Montana, wherever it was. Like this, like basically they took a college and turned it into a federal prison for white collar people. And he didn't even serve the entire year. You can read all about this. There's so much online about that because I loved reading about it. Because it's insane how if you have enough money, you can delay your sentencing forever. And then finally, after he got a year sentence, he only served like 2 or 3 months, and the rest of it in his home, which he ended up losing because he had to file for bankruptcy. And then he tried to weasel his way out of liquidating his assets. Like, this guy's just a fucking terrible weasel.
Yes, he's the worst. And like I said, I don't want to hang out with him. I don't want to be in the same room as this guy. He sucks. But I hope he makes another movie because I'm sure it'll be fucking nutters.
But if I had a script, I told him he couldn't change in $50 million, I would let him make me a movie. And I would take the backlash because at the end of the day, most likely, I'd triple my budget.
Oh, yeah, he is something else, for sure.
Yeah. I think his problem was in this is like too much creative control. And I think a lot of visual directors have this problem, and clearly he's trying to put a vision on screen here. It just doesn't work.
None of it works.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got. I mean, if you look at his fucking just like his filmography, he knows how to do some shit.
Yeah, but like if you read up on him, you will see that he had almost exactly the same problems with this movie as he did with his movie before, The 13th Warrior.
13th Warrior,
which he had a lot of problems getting made.
Didn't a director or someone came into that one too to finish?
Yeah, Michael Crichton, the author, came in to finish the movie because McTiernan got fired from the set because he was being too fucking nutters to work with.
I actually like that movie, even though I can tell right away that it's been hacked to bits.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie, but I'm sure I probably would like stuff in it.
There's some people who might hear me say that I like it. I've said this in the past, other than like Lady Hawk and what was the last fantasy film we just watched? Black Cauldron. I actually like fantasy films. I always find they're interesting, even though they're like basic as shit. A good guy grabs a sword, saves a princess, yada yada. I just like, I like Game of Thrones, even though that one's much more sophisticated, nasty, full of peen and boobs. That's actually the key to all fantasy films. The more peens, the higher the letter grade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, nudity for all. Everybody should be naked in every fantasy film, and they'd all be good.
Even the monsters.
Yes. Yes, especially the monsters. Put a big old swinging dick on a monster, and I'm happy.
Is that an elephant dick? No, it's a minotaur dick. I didn't know they were okay. All right, now we know everything. Actually, that's from Your Highness.
Yeah, Your Highness is the minotaur dick, and you know what? I kind of like that movie. It's not that good, and I want to like it more than I actually like it, but like I like it.
And you're wrong.
Okay,
put something in the museum.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you.
That belongs in a museum.
So do you.
So every week we take something from the movie, good or bad, and we put into our museum so that we can remember it and or learn from it. What are you going to put in the museum this week?
It's going to be bad. When you make... Oh, there's so much bad to put in this. I searched for something good in this. I really did. But I'm going to pinpoint to the night vision scene. When we were talking about, I don't understand the decision to take an entire 10 to 15 minute scene, and it's long, and shoot it in night vision. Yeah. And the entire thing might not have been shot in night vision, but it sure fucking seemed like it when I was watching it.
Right. Yeah. If you listen to every episode, you know it's very rare for me to put something bad in the museum. But once again, this week I am going to put something bad in the museum. So this is the second time in the last couple months that I've done something bad.
Is it Russians who try to speak English?
No. Or French people that try to do Russian accents? Yeah. No. Because Gene Reno's a treasure. But I won't say his name correctly because I have too much of a Chicago accent. No, what I'm going to put in that would have been my choice, but because obviously everything is wrong about that scene. But my choice is going to just be then the edited violence. I want to see, this is the movie where I want to see explicit nudity and bones being broken, bone shards sticking out of arms, blood everywhere, teeth flying out of people's mouth. This is that movie. This is when you do that. This is your opportunity to make that kind of a movie. So I am taking the editing of the violence that we'll never get to see. That's gone now forever. From this movie.
So they just flushed it down the toilet, you think?
Probably. Unless, somebody in 15 years is I found all the footage from Rollerball, but then somebody's gonna be go fuck yourself.
Can I take this and re-edit it? And they're no, we don't want to prove that we're fucking awful. Yeah, Can we just not talk about that film anymore?
Because here's the thing, I'm gonna say,
if you offered enough money, MGM right now though might take it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think here's what's gonna happen, and I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. Within the next 5 years, probably within the next 2 years, Shout Factory is going to put this movie out on Blu-ray. And they're going to have some interviews with, Chris Klein.
You think Chris Klein will come back to talk about it? What
the fuck else is he doing?
Not remembering this Coke Field obsession time.
Or they'll get Gene Reno because he says yes to everything. They're going to get...
Oh, yeah, he'll do it.
He'll do it. They're going to get...
He has nothing to be ashamed of in this.
Yeah, because he's actually giving a good performance in this movie. The movie's just not good.
He just forgets to speak Russian.
But he's going for it. He's being wild. He's being bug-eyed in this movie the way he should be. He's being as coked out as McTiernan clearly is. They're gonna put out this R-rated version. They're gonna find some deleted scenes, but we're never gonna get the real version of that. But I'm calling it now. Shout Factory's gonna put out a version with a couple interviews and a couple deleted scenes in 2 years, and people will buy it, people will see it, whatever. People will be like, oh, maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. But I want to see the good stuff. I want to see the fucking skulls being cracked.
I want to see the boobies and the wang dangs.
Yes, that's what is also missing.
Just an entire scene.
Just naked people walking around a locker room. Done.
You know something else that pisses me off in the marketing of this is the rated R version for home video. No, they didn't add anything.
They literally uncensored a couple of the boobs.
Yeah.
You could see Rebecca Romijn's boobs a little bit better. That's about it.
Yeah. You got to do a little bit more than revealing her perfectly shaped body.
The girl with the CG bra is still in this version. That's still in this version.
As soon as we're done recording, I'm going to find that.
It's near the end of the movie. Look for it.
At the end?
Near the last half hour in the last locker room scene. You'll see. She goes to put on a towel too, which is weird because she has a bra on, but then you see the pixelation of where it's clearly not something there. It's really funny. Go back and find it.
That's awful.
And it's in this, I'm doing air quotes, R-rated cut.
I think we should cover this movie with a towel.
Yes. Let this one die. If you come across this VHS in a Goodwill or a Salvation Army, fucking just leave it there.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Actually, cover it up with, like, something else.
Yeah, just hide it. Like, don't let anybody else take this. Don't let anybody else make this mistake. I will say, like I said, the first half of the movie, or maybe first half hour of the movie, I was feeling it, and then but it loses me so hard.
Yeah.
After that, like, I can't recommend, even for the first half hour, I can't recommend it.
I guess what's even more frustrating, like, just, like, kind of just looking at this as a whole is, it's not even a good bad film where you're like laughing at it and just having a good time.
For a half hour.
You kind of just like phase out.
Yep, I literally browned out. I was like, I'm just going to be on my phone looking up information about this movie because what the movie is presenting to me is not that interesting.
Okay, as usual, you can subscribe, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube. We'll put all the ridiculous amount of trailers on this film. And maybe a few scenes, maybe even CG bra, if I can find it. And then, rate and review us. We really appreciate it. Also, talk to us on Facebook. Just let us know. Hey, I know a lot of you like to talk to me in person or over message, but just go right on that Facebook page. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, we can start a conversation with everybody. I always go through and leave little funny comments on the stuff that Steve posts. So we're both on there. We'll both talk to you. And email us too. Suggestions or comments. If you're offended by things I said in this episode, let us know.
Oops. He's highly offensive, folks.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
But that's we just like to talk. We just like to talk about movies. We're just like super nerds. So don't be afraid. We won't make fun of you unless you put. I don't know.
Unless you think Rollerball is one of the best movies of all time, then I might question your.
Then I'm gonna
opinions.
I think you should be deported to Russia. But remember to be kind
and rewind.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
I'm here, too.
We are the Jersey Ghouls, a horror podcast based out of the Garden State. Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Marissa's scholarly conversations.
By the way, if you Google Psycho female, you definitely don't get the name of the actress from Psycho. Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Nate's thrilling debate.
Why? Why are you so resistant against it?
Because don't you start.
Join us on Jersey Ghouls for Jackie's love of 80s slasher movie Topless Scene.
Whoa, Jackie, this is a feminist podcast.
I know. I'm a woman. And as a woman, I appreciate a nice set of jugs.
Okay, but you shouldn't call them jugs.
Hooters? Bazungas? Tatas? Dirty pillows?
I like boobs too. Can I call them fun bags?
No! We're the Jersey Ghouls. You can find us on social media by searching Jersey Ghouls on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also find our blog and podcast on our website, jerseyghouls.com.